Hey, I'm live again. We're still working at it, still keeping the faith. I'm gonna just try and, oh yeah, that's better. A little bit too much light, I think. That should be good. That should be good. I'm trying to set this about 7 o'clock before all the good shows start on TV. I know a lot of people that watch the channel don't even watch TV, so that makes it a little bit easier for them. I got one person. One person. That's all we need. That, and according to the Beatles, all you need is love. Hey, Dan. It's ironic, and I always say that, it's ironic that the Beatles sang All You Need Is Love and broke up like the next year, something like that. Apparently, all you need isn't love. Hey, Nick, welcome back. Give people a few seconds here to join on. There's another one. Yeah, I'm really glad you guys show up. It's very encouraging. As you know, I've had some people drop off, and it comes and goes. I mean, that happens. People drop off, and you never really know why. And maybe it's just they're thinning out their subscribers, their subscriberships too, subscriptions. Oh, awesome! It's raining in Michigan. Thanks, Nick. Yeah, I'm going to be coming tomorrow. Yay! It's actually raining in Cleveland too right now, so tomorrow may be a wet day. It's supposed to drop down. I looked at the weather in Lambertville, which is where I'm going to be going, and it looked like in the mid-morning it should be like 25-30% chance of rain, which I found means it may rain or it may not. So we'll find out. What was my purpose for the trip? It was really every year I try and get in at least one or two good long trips just to get miles on the bike, get out and explore. I mean, I would love to just go ride around the country, but I have a job. I'm the worst kind of biker, a biker with a job. So I don't get a chance to do that. I usually get a fair amount of vacation time, but I just don't get a chance to just get out and ride endlessly. So one or two good trips a year, and this year was passing by pretty quickly. And, I was looking at the map and I said, hey, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That sounds like a cool place to go. So the big push for the trip was the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The secondary goal was to get a few more patches for my vest, because I collect patches from every state that I've been in. So on this trip, I'm going to knock out West Virginia, Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, and Kentucky. 5 states that I haven't done yet. I was looking at the map this morning, and I'm actually going to get back to South Carolina sooner than I expected to. And I thought I might stretch it out and make a run for Illinois. But I'm not sure. I don't know if I really gain anything. Eventually, I'm going to have to go to Wisconsin or Missouri. I want to get out in that area as well. Missouri, Kansas, that whole area. And I'm kind of going to have to go through Illinois anyways. So I don't know if it really gains me anything to add it to this trip. I would love to get up to the plant up in Kansas City, the Harley plant, before they close it, which they're supposed to do this spring. Because as a photographer, any media you get up there is going to be a historical record as soon as they close down that plant. It's going to be, remember the plant in Kansas City? And you can be like, yeah, I got pictures. I'd love to get up there, but I just don't know if it's going to happen. And the way this year was shaping out was I wasn't sure this trip was going to happen either, because the things kept coming off. Indiana, where am I going to? I've got the Monkees song in my head now. I was at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which I didn't actually see them in, but I was thinking music, and all I can think of is Clarksville. That's in Tennessee. It's not far into Indiana. It's not quite to. Actually, let me look real quick. Bear with me. The 6 of you who are here, if you would please. Indiana, Richmond. I'm going into Richmond, Indiana. So it's just a chance to get into Indiana, claim it as a state that I've ridden in. And I'm looking forward to it. When I Google mapped it, it looked like a lot of farmland where I was going and stuff. And I love back roads. I just dig them. Raining in New Hampshire. Yeah, that doesn't. It seems to be raining everywhere east of the Mississippi. You know, we had our good day for this fall. The rest of it's going to be rain and snow for a lot of you. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, you know, I can't just live in Cleveland for the rest of my life. I have to ride back. So I'll take my chances and get back into Michigan and then Indiana tomorrow. Maybe in Indiana, I'll be on the other side of this bunch of rain. And then I'll start heading down into Kentucky and back through North Carolina, back into South Carolina, back home. So, like I said, I was thinking I was going to get home on Sunday, but it turns out I'm going to be earlier than that. So I was thinking about Illinois, but maybe not. Maybe not. I kind of want to get home, get all this film processed, get another video done, et cetera, et cetera. So we got 6 people on here. I don't want to make everybody wait. I'm just going to get going. You know, I don't know if anybody saw on my Facebook, I posted about, you know, as you ride down the highway, you'll hit these spots where it smells like death. Just carcasses. So, you know, it's not that baked on smell of fresh roadkill in the sunlight. It's just rotting flesh. So I've always imagined that, you know, the great circle of life dumps all its carcasses on the side of the highway. I'm trying to read messages at the same time. I can't keep up with them. I'll see if I can catch back up. If nothing else, they should be in the comments. I should be able to see them. Michigan. I'm just gonna get down into Lambertville, just the lowest part of it. Again, just so I can say I hit the state and got a little bit of riding in. I don't know, I might go a little bit further, but probably not a whole lot further. Maybe go up to a Harley dealership. I know there's one kind of inside the border. I don't know, but especially if it's raining, I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I'm going to start heading south again. And quite honestly, it's cold up here for me. I'm not digging it at all. So I want to get back in warmer weather. I'm too old for this. Hi, Mrs. Lonsberry. Glad you could make it. My wife. So riding down the road, smell of death, circle of life, dumps its carcasses on the side of the road. And I was coming out of West Virginia and the rain had stopped and I just started smelling that smell again. And I look up and there's this camper up there, big camper. And I'm thinking, what if it's coming from that camper? Because, you know, you ride down the highway and you can smell people smelling weed, smoking weed and stuff, and you smell it. And I'm looking at the camper and I'm thinking, what kind of horrible thing could have happened in that camper? And I'm like right behind it now. So, you know, you just don't know. Here I am alone and I'm right behind this psychopath on the road. So, you know, when people see the story on the news about the camper of death and they'll be like, oh, what's happening in this world? And I'll be like, yeah, I know there was something wrong up there. I followed them the whole way. You know, they'll be interviewing me. So I'm walking back from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame today, and I walked a couple blocks, and the clouds are starting to set in, and I was expecting it to start raining again. And the clouds are setting in, and trying to get back to the hotel, and I notice up ahead, there's like police tape across the sidewalk. And there's police cars and you know, a vehicle in the roadway. And I'm like, oh, you know, I'm just irritated because I don't want to have to walk out of the way to get back to the hotel because I'm in a hurry. So I realized, I can just go around the 3 stoplights and just go around the intersection. I'm still a little annoyed. So I get up there and they've got these purple sheets hanging from the side of this. It was a camper. And I'm like, you know, what is there, a body under there or something? You know, because they're just kind of hanging down on the road and all the cops are around and it's a crime scene. So I'm crossing the other sidewalks and I got to the second one and this woman comes up and she's like, that body done been under there for an hour. And another guy's like, yep, that's the city. Like they've just got people falling into the road, you know, every other couple minutes. But yes, apparently there was a body underneath that camper. And I looked at the camper and I thought, that looks strangely suspicious, strangely familiar. So who knows? It could have been the camper of death. At least for somebody it was. But so made it back to the hotel. The Holiday Inn Express that I'm staying in was built in the Guardian Bank building that was built in 1894. And it's just gorgeous. I mean, I talked about it last night. It's a gorgeous classic building from 1894, you know, and it's quality. It's got the little tiny Westinghouse elevators, and you go out into the hallway, and they've got part of the hallway's wood, like the rooms. Part of the hallway is this little small irregular tile, and then you get to where the elevators are, and it's these huge granite smooth not granite, but marble blocks, and it echoes. So I'm in the hallway, and I must have said something out loud. I thought, I love the echo in here. So I'm out there singing Pumped Up Kicks because, you know, it echoes. Now, Pumped Up Kicks, if you're not familiar with it, sounds like, you know, a really happy song, you know, but it's really about school shootings. But it's catchy, and it echoes. So I'm out there singing Pumped Up Kicks, and, you know, I haven't seen anybody in the hallway during my whole visit. They're probably in their rooms thinking, that's the city, you know, some psychopath out in the hallway singing about, you know, school shootings. But it's a beautiful building. I've got lots of video of it, so when I get home and get it all put together, you can watch it. I'm looking forward to that. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame got a ton of video from the Hall of Fame. Most of it, they don't really have a problem with you taking pictures and videoing. There's a couple areas, I guess, that they don't want you to video in, and I think it's because of, you know, they've got movies and stuff like that playing. You know, they don't want you to do that. I kind of got emotional in it after a while. There were parts I just had to leave. I literally, you know, big bad biker that I am, I literally got teary-eyed, and I can't explain it. I don't know if it's because there's so many artists that are just gone now. I mean, a lot of it's history, and a lot of those people are history too, and it just struck me as very sad. So yeah, I got kind of misty. But all in all, it was a great trip. I'd highly recommend it for, you know, there's 7 levels, and I went through level 0 and came out, and I'm like, oh, well, that was cool, but it was quick. Am I done? And I didn't realize there were 6 more levels, you know? So it was a good time. Probably could have spent a lot longer there than I did. I saw online before I came that somebody said you could spend 2 days pretty easily. And I know I kind of breezed through it because I knew the rain was coming. I was really just focused on getting video. I mean, I did stop and enjoy and look at some of it and everything, but there was a lot more to look at. A lot of kiosks and stuff to go through where you could select a band from past or future and see who was an influence of who or who was influenced by who, and just walk this musical history through. It was really neat. Of course, there's the usual, you know, this is so-and-so's guitar, this is so-and-so's outfit, a lot of instruments, very, very cool stuff. They had an arcade in there with all kinds of different, you know, like the Kiss pinball machine and all that kind of stuff. It was a very cool place, and I highly recommend it. Got my patch. You know, if you've seen some of the videos on the YouTube channel, there's one that I talk about my patches on my vest. Now I try and get a state patch, a patch from every state that I've ridden in. And I didn't have one from Ohio, obviously, because I just rode Ohio. So I got a patch from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. What I try and do is get a patch from a place. And if I can't get that, then I'll just get the state patch. But so I'm really happy to get one from a place, and sticker for my helmet and the whole thing. So it was a good time. A trip well worth it. There was one video they were playing downstairs that was all the rock and roll history from Cleveland. And I went upstairs to the gift shop and asked them if they had that particular video, and they didn't. So that was kind of a bummer, but it was a good time. It was absolutely a good time. Went from there, walked down to the park, down by the Lake Erie, you know, and took some pictures down there. That was kind of cool. And then the clouds started rolling in, and then I came back to the hotel and passed the accident. So that was pretty much that. But this hotel, I passed somebody in the elevators, and he was asking me if I knew how old the hotel was. And I was telling him, you know, it's old, at least early 1900s. And like I said, 1894. Oh, really? Nick offered to send me a patch from Michigan if I'd like. Maybe maybe. Let me find out what I get there. I don't really expect to find anything, but I might take you up on that. That would be awesome. And it would mean even more that I got it from somebody who was a subscriber. So that's way better than ordering it through, Amazon or eBay or wherever. But I'll let you know, Nick. Thank you for the offer. So the guy was asking me about the hotel, and I said, I've traveled a bit. I didn't grow up under a rock, but I feel like such a country bumpkin here. I feel like a guy from the farm that just hit New York City. I'm looking at all the buildings, walking around with a camera, taking pictures of the top of the buildings, really interesting stuff. But it is, because I'm not an architecture fan, but there's so much cool stuff here. There's a lot of old buildings, like turn of the last century old. And there's a bunch of buildings that look like they were built in the 60s, the space age 60s and maybe early 70s. And they still have that look and that vibe to them. And it's just really cool. Cleveland's a neat place. I don't think I'm going to be back just because there's so many other places to see. I don't know. It's a tough call. I'd like to come back because even looking on the map for places to eat, I'd find 2 or 3 other places I'd like to see here in town. Just places to go check out. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I got a lot of states that I still need to discover. So, I've told people before, I have no real need or desire to ride outside of the United States. Not that I think there's anything wrong with it. There are some beautiful places in the world, lovely places that, if I had already checked out everything in the U.S., I would love to go ride there. But there's enough here to keep me busy for the rest of my life, and then another one on top of that. So I'm not in a big hurry to ride it. I just want to discover everything here. There's enough to keep me busy forever. So, and if it keeps raining, I don't want to see any of it. On postcards would be fine. So yeah, it sounds like I'm going to get caught in some rain tomorrow. I'm not too happy about that, but you got to do what you got to do. Luckily, I'm not one of those riders who won't ride in the rain. And if I luck out, maybe I'll just get pockets of it, and that'll be great. Try and make it through. I've only got about 318 miles to go tomorrow, which will be a long 318 if it's nasty. The good news is, as far as I know, between here, Michigan, and then Indiana, I don't have a lot of West Virginia hills. And hills in the rain just frighten me. I've got an active imagination, and I can imagine what's going to happen to my bike if I hit it too fast or anything like that. So, New Zealand. Double Shot says he'll show me around New Zealand. I got to tell you, I've seen some video of New Zealand, and I would love it. That looks like a fantastic place. It just sparks my imagination. Kind of like, and everything that I've seen, the best parts that I've seen remind me of the desert. And that's another place, and I may end up going there in the spring. I was planning on going this spring, but something happened and it fell through. I think I was broke. So that didn't happen, which is another reason why I really wanted to come to Cleveland. I wanted to make sure I got this ride in. So the West Coast, Chuck. I have ridden in California. My first bike that I got was in California. It was a Suzuki GT 750, 3-cylinder, 2-stroke, water-cooled. I love that bike. I'd love to get another one just for nostalgia's sake. Last time I saw it, it was in pieces in a garage because, it was messed up when I bought it, and I didn't help it any. But yeah, that was a great bike. Didn't have a license at the time, so I didn't do a lot of riding in California. But I have been around the Modesto area, where I lived there for like 5 years. So it was, just south of Charming with the rest of us bikers. So, yes, I have ridden. I haven't gotten over to the coast, and PCH is another dream ride. I'd love to do PCH. That's a little bit more. I don't want to keep everybody all night, but let me talk about the West Coast ride. So my original plan for it was originally Joshua Tree I wanted to go to. Camp out in the desert for a couple days with a tent and the whole thing. A lot of photography, a lot of riding in the desert, etc. Sounds like a great trip. You can fly into Vegas from South Carolina for $450 round trip. You could rent a bike in Vegas and ride it down to Joshua Tree, about 220 miles. Camp out there. Maybe head down to the Salton Sea for a day, a little day trip. Ride back up to Joshua Tree. And then I wanted to go out to Kingman, Arizona, so I could, get the Arizona patch as well. And then ride back to Vegas, fly back to South Carolina. Another thing that I'd love to see in Kingman is the aircraft boneyard. I don't know what kind of access people get to that, but I was going to try and swing it if that trip was going to happen. I'd love to get in there with a camera and just take pictures. Just go ham. That trip fell through, and in the meantime, Harley stopped renting motorcycles. Now, I know there's an Eagle Rider in Palm Springs, so you can still rent through Eagle Rider. So that plan has changed a little bit to fly into Palm Springs and then ride down to Joshua Tree. I can't think of his name, dude. I apologize so much. There's the guy in Palm Springs that does videos. I know who it is. I've given him a shout out before. I can't think of it right now. I'm sorry. But that would be cool to meet up with him and go do some riding and stuff. Painted Desert? I can't remember. But that would be cool. Ride down to Joshua Tree, and the trip just continues from there. Sounds the same, just different destination. So that was that plan. And then somebody suggested Death Valley. And Death Valley would be great too. And it's, a little bit further north, but it's still desert. So that would be awesome. And would probably get better clicks on YouTube. So that would be cool. Might have been Tim from 40 Times Around that recommended Death Valley. So that would be great. But Pacific Coast Highway is yet another trip. And the idea there was to go into Santa Barbara, rent bikes, go up PCH into San Fran, cut across to Modesto, and then come down back to Bakersfield, and then back across to Santa Barbara, turn in the bikes and fly back. Zion National Park, that would be awesome. The problem with places like that is I get loose with a camera and I'm not going to want to do anything but just stay there, take pictures. I'm scared. I mean, I would just, I'd walk away never having enough. But, and that's kind of the way Cleveland's been, just in a day and a half. I could spend 3 weeks here just with a camera, not even going anyplace, just taking pictures. It would be awesome. But that was great. So it's been a good trip so far. We'll see how it continues. I don't expect the rest of it to ever be, exciting, but hey, who knows? It's a ride. If you ever come back, holler. Absolutely, Chuck. I will do that. If I come back, I'll post it on the channel before I go anyplace. I'm always looking for people to invite me out for beer while I'm on the road. I'm just kidding. Really, sort of. Not really. All right, I'm going to let everybody go. I've been cranking on for 23 minutes, and, even Ed Sullivan can't keep people's attention that long. So I appreciate everybody showing up again. It'll be interesting to see how many subscribers I lose after this one. It's almost turning into a game. Not a happy game. Kind of a game like Russian roulette, but it's a game nonetheless. I've got a lot of comments on my beard, sans the salad being in it. People yelling down the road, "Hey, Mr. Beard, show me the way." I'm like, the way's where I'm going. Follow me. A couple people at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Hey, like your facial beard. Thanks. I'm glad I didn't cut it off. So, anyways, Double Shot Moto, thank you for your time. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate everybody being here. I'm absolutely going to cut it off. And I will talk to you tomorrow night. I'm going to try and run these about 7 o'clock Eastern time, or whatever time I'm in. If I'm in a different time zone in Indiana, that might change. I didn't think about that. But I'm going to try and stick for the same time because it's before all the good TV happens for those of you who still watch TV. So thank you again for being here, and I will see you next time. Bye.